Hi friends! Welcome to episode 56 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. Thank you guys so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I really appreciate it as always. And I am coming to you from my home in Central Florida. And today is Tuesday, September 25th. Yes. So I have a bunch of crafty goodness to share with you. And here comes my phrase, I'm super excited about it. I'm going to try not to say that I'm super excited about every project that I show you guys. I'm going to try. I make no promises. So, let's get into the craftiness. The first thing that we have is a finished object, which I almost said it. This is ridiculous. But I am excited about this project. This, I showed you guys last week. It is finished now. I don't think I expected it to be finished, but here we are. Let me just show you my squishy loveliness. Now this sweater, it is called the Harvest Moon sweater. And thank you for anybody who put in suggestions on what I should call it. But I decided to go with Harvest Moon because, I mean, it is very fall. But also with the round neck, you know, like round, like the full moon. And I finished this last night, which was the 24th, which was actually the Harvest Moon. So, yeah. After I finished it, I took it outside for a moonlit photo shoot, and I'll put in a picture of a couple of the shots that I got. Yeah, so it is crocheted. What do you call this? It's a round yoke, and I decided to go with the I decided to go with the full sleeves. Last week it was only the body that I had, and that is the progress keeper to where I was last week. So I did all the rest of the body and the sleeves, and then I also extended the collar or the neckline because it was a little bit like boat necky when I put it on, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to be more of a crew neck. So yeah. And you can kind of see that line right there where I added on the extra. Yeah. Oh, look, it looks like I have a teeny tiny head. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I'm easily amused. What else do I want to say about this sweater? I'm going to talk about the yarn in a second, but the sweater itself, I really like the way it fits. I like measured my arm, like up and down my arm numerous times to make sure that the decreases that I worked into the sleeves fit nicely. And I will put in pictures or video or something so that you can see what this looks like on, because I'm not going to put it on right now because it'll mess up my hair. And it took a long time for me to get this bun together. I really like how the stripes match up. I mean, I guess with chunky stripes, it's not that hard to do, especially like when you're striping it, but it's just really satisfying. Like this just really makes me oddly happy, and I don't know why. Maybe because it's like things organized neatly, you know? I like it. I like it a lot. So, one other thing, I do have a question for you crocheters. So you can see my seam in the back, right? I cannot, for the life of me, figure out how to make the seam just go straight down. I don't know, maybe it just doesn't happen. These are US double crochets. Yeah, they are. US double crochets in the round. And I mean, it's not like traveling super far, super fast, but it still kind of irritates me a teeny tiny bit that it's not straight. And then up here in the increases, that's just insane. So I need to figure out what's the best way to get a neat straight seam. As far as I have like researched and found, when you're working in the round and increasing, your seam is going to travel. I don't think there's a way around that. But I feel like if I'm working in the round and my stitches are like, I'm not increasing, the seam should be straight. Because like nothing's changing, your stitch count isn't changing. I don't understand why that seam is sliding over. So if you have any knowledge to share about the magical traveling seam, please leave a comment down below. I would really appreciate it. So yeah, there is, aside from the seam, there's no difference from the front to the back. Yeah, it is super comfortable. The sleeves come down like into my hand if I stretch them. So it's like snuggly and cozy, and I just want to wear it all the time. Like I put it on last night after I finished it with some sweatpants that I was wearing, and I just felt like I was about to go lounge in the den with a fire going and watching like Lifetime movies or something like that as a light snow falls outside. That is the picture that was in my head when I had the sweater on. Unfortunately, I live in Florida. None of those things are going to happen except for maybe like the Lifetime movies. I don't even watch Lifetime. So none of those things are going to happen. Thanks, Florida. When I decided to call it the Harvest Moon sweater, I was like, oh wow, that's really cool, and the Harvest Moon is tonight, and I'm gonna finish it tonight, and oh, this is great, this is, everything is just falling into place. And then I looked at the stitch marker that I put on it, and this is from Crochet Luna from Claudia. It's a moon. It was meant to be called the Harvest Moon sweater. Yay! So yeah, I'm gonna stop swinging this around in front of you now. Let's talk about the yarn. Did you guys catch that hard eye roll? Because that's how I felt about this yarn. The biggest frustration that I had with this yarn is that it tangles if you're not careful. Like, it tangles very easily. This yarn is ZZ Twist yarn by Lion Brand. So it is, it's spun with a Z twist, meaning it's spun opposite to the yarns that you normally would work with. Okay, so here's a strand of the ZZ Twist yarn, right? So the ply, like the plied yarn, is Z spun, so it twists this way when it gets tighter. Regular yarn is S spun, so it's spun this way. So as you can see, this yarn like will untwist itself. Just like the plies are coming apart, and you can see my ends, like they're just coming apart like that. I did not do that. And that's just what happens as I was working, you know, like working down the sweater. I would cut off the yarn when the stripe was finished and go on to the next one. And like after a little while, the yarns just started untwisting each other. Like the Z ply was untwisting. Now, if you look, I don't even know if you'll be able to see this. You can kind of see how each one of those strands is actually made up of other strands. So each one of these is a 4-strand or a 4-ply strand of yarn, essentially. And these are all S spun. So what Lion Brand has done is taken 3 S spun strands and then spun them, like plied them together opposite direction. So, I mean, I guess, because I think when you're spinning, because I haven't been actively spinning, so any spinners can correct me. Whichever way you spin your singles, you spin it the opposite direction to ply it. So maybe that's what's going on here, but I'm not sure why the plies just come apart like this. Like, it's an okay yarn. I wouldn't like, I'm not gonna run out to buy any more. Oh, one of the other kind of frustrations that I had whilst working with it, the way that I tension my yarn, and this might just be something like for me because of the way that I tension, but a lot of times when I'm crocheting, I hold the yarn like this and I tension it with just my index finger like this. And so I'm pulling the yarn through, you know, through just my index finger. Because of this like one point of tension, the yarn was starting to, like the plies were starting to slide apart from each other. So like, I don't even know if I can like make it do it. Okay. I was getting this situation happening. So like, as I'm crocheting along, they're bunching up how they're like not supposed to. So yeah, there was a whole lot of like weird things happening with this yarn. I'm glad that, you know, I'm finished like with the sweater. I am still going to make like a hat or something out of it just to see if I like smaller projects better in this yarn. Primarily because I have quite a bit left over. Like I have this much of the gray, this much of the cranberry, which is like almost a whole ball, that much of the pumpkin, and that much of the peacock. So there's quite a bit of yarn left over in all of these skeins. So I'm gonna have to find something to do with it because I don't want it just sitting in my stash, you know? But yeah, other than that, I enjoyed making the sweater. I enjoyed coming up with the pattern. It was like super simple, really like relaxing just to do. I am not looking forward to weaving these in just because of how the yarn like just untwists itself. I'm kind of scared that if I just weave in the yarn and I wash it, it's just gonna unravel, like it's just gonna pull through. So I think what I'm gonna do is just tie knots all the way down the seam, I think. And then I have to do the same thing in the sleeves. And yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Don't drop it in your tea, Kalisha. So yeah, that is everything with the Harvest Moon sweater. And yeah, that's everything for my finished objects as well. So we will move right on to works in progress. Oh, that is way strong. I need to add water to that tea. Woo! Just in case you're wondering what kind of tea just punched me in the face, I'm drinking Bachelor, Ceylon black tea masala chai. Ta-da! I got it at Tuesday Morning, so like one of those like random kind of overstock stores, and it looked good. So I'm trying it, and I love chai, and it really would be better if I had milk, but there's no milk in the house right now. All right, on to works in progress. So the first work in progress I have is my second L-Tannin sock. It is tangled. It is past the heel. So there's my heel. It's a short row heel. And here is the L-Tannin sock pattern. Dun, dun, dun. This is where I was last week when you guys saw it, and I've just been zipping right along. It actually works up pretty fast for such a textured pattern. So thumbs up for that. This is another pattern in progress by yours truly. I think last week I was talking about how I had written up the instructions to do a short row wrap and turn heel, and I had written it up from memory. So I actually worked this heel from my instructions, and I did miss like a couple little details, but pretty much I had it. I had it like right on the money. So thumbs up for that. This should be done soon. Let me show you the finished one. That's the finished El-Tannin sock. And if you are wondering, El-Tannin, the name of this sock, is the head star of the constellation Draco. Yep. What else is there to say about these? Not much. I'll probably talk a bit more about them when they're all finished. But yeah. So that has been traveling around with me, getting a little work here and there. Done. The next whip that I'm going to show you, I actually was like knitting on this sock and, you know, just knitting along. And then I said, Kalisha, you need to slow down because you only have 50 grams of your like main color and you don't want to overspend because I'm making like the full set of socks from this. So it's going to be this yarn. This is Lorna's Laces in the shepherd sock base in the colorway Envy. And the shepherd sock base is an 80-20 superwash merino nylon blend. And I kept forgetting to put the contrast color in the bag. So I've literally just been walking around with this for like a week. Just taking up space in my project bag because I left the contrast color at home. And this contrast color is Knit Pick Stroll in the pumpkin colorway. So, yeah. And these are my favorite color socks, the fall edition. And I feel like they look exactly the same as they did last week. So I am going to be putting the heel into this one pretty soon. I just need to reconfirm how many rows I'm supposed to have on the leg before I put the heel in, because I don't want to have just like a smidge of leftover yarn, but I also don't want to run out because that would be annoying. So that's these. They're just plain vanilla, 64 stitches around on a 2.25 millimeter hook needle. The next work in progress that I have, I'm super excited about. There it goes. Told you, I make no promises about not saying I'm super excited about something. But this is a blanket, and I talked about it. Did I talk about it last week? I think I did. This blanket I knit up using my knitting machine, and I striped it. So let me show you the blanket, and it's all curled up because it's just a stockinette panel. So what I'm going to do is pick up stitches all the way around and crochet a border. But that's how it looks. Navy blue and gold. Fun fact, these are my college colors. And I'm drinking out of my college mug. Oakley University. I feel like that tea just keeps getting stronger, and the tea bag's not even in it. But yeah, so this is the blanket so far. I'm gonna be using this yarn. It's just a cream acrylic that I got from Michael's like a year and a half, at least a year and a half ago. Michael's had done this thing where it was like a value set of yarn, and they had two hanks twisted like this, and it's very similar to the Karen Simply Soft. So this is going to be the edging. I'm going to make a couple rounds around it in crochet. I'm not sure if I'm going to do like any kind of pattern in the edging, or if I'm just going to do like maybe half double crochet just flat all the way around. Who knows? We'll figure it out as we go. But that's going to be the edge. So when I was doing this, when I was knitting this on the machine, first I had to figure out how to tension the yarn when I was changing the color, because I kept dropping stitches, but eventually I got it. And so you have like, you can hardly see them because they're all rolled up in the edge, but all of my ends are over here. So I have to weave those in. And I was just going back and forth, and each one of the stripes is, 12 rows. Yes, each stripe is 12 rows. And I was just in my own little world, just going back and forth, so much so that I actually made it too long and ended up having to rip off 3 rows. So I have like this little striped bit of fabric that I don't know what I'm going to do with, but maybe I could make like a headband. Oh, I could make a headband. Oakwood headbands. So I am really excited about this blanket. I love how the striping worked up. It looks like the yellow stripes are wider than the blue ones, but they're not. I don't know what's going on there. Well, this one might actually be smaller because, you know, we're new. We're new at this striping thing on a knitting machine. So that one might actually be smaller. But otherwise, they're pretty much the same. So I'm going to have to block this out to stop all the curling, and then pick up the stitches, knit the border, crochet the border, and then it'll be ready to go. I got a little tag that says made with love that I'm going to attach to the back of it, and that's all she wrote. So the next time you see this, it'll be finished. I might just be able to show like pictures, and I kind of feel like I need a stripy Oakwood blanket now. Who knows? Is that everything for works in progress? Yes, it is. The next section that I have is stash positions, and I have a couple things. I've broken stash positions up into 3 sections. I have retail therapy, happy mail, and the Florida fiber in. So everything is living. Let me just move this so I stop bumping the tripod. Everything is living in this little bag, which I will tell you more about in just a moment. So the first thing I wanted to show you is the yarn that I have for retail therapy. So a lot of times when I'm feeling down or just out of sorts, I want to buy things. So I did. Last week I went to one of my local yarn stores. It's called The Barn Yarn, and it's in Claremont, Florida. And I picked up this ball of yarn. This is Malabrigo Sock in Impressionist Sky. And I was walking around the store with this one, and what was the other one that I had? I think it was a red. I want to say it was Ravelry red. And I was trying to figure out which one I wanted to take with me. I decided to go with this blue one because it's gorgeously tonal. Like, yeah, you can see all the different shades, like tones of blue that are in there. I decided to go with this one because I don't have a lot of blue in my stash, and it was just really beautiful. So yeah, this was my I'm feeling crappy, I want to buy something pretty. And then I think it was this past Saturday, I got some happy mail, and so a couple weeks ago, I mentioned that I had met online Nana of Von Hertzen Craft and Fiber Co. I said Von Hertzberg last time. That's not right. It's Von Hertzen. And this is her card. Von Herzen Craft and Fiber Co. And I will put her website and her Instagram down below, so you should definitely go check her out. But she sent me a couple skeins of yarn, and I was only expecting the 2 balls, or the 2 like skeins of yarn, but they came with friends. And before I show you the yarn, I do want to show you the card that she sent, because this is just really cool. It's like, what would you call this? It's not cardboard, but it's like hard like cardboard. So, and it says, just because, and she said, you're amazing and deserve it. Thank you for thinking I'm amazing. But that's really cool. Like, I need to find out like where she got these, because these are like really, really cool. And like the edge is pink as well. It's almost like a letterpress. I think it might be letterpress, but that's really awesome stationery. I'm a little bit of a stationery nerd. I do love notebooks, pens, papers, cards, washi tape, stuff to write on. Guilty pleasure all day. But these are the yarns. So these are the 2 that I chose. They are on her Tolkien base, which is a 4-ply fingering 75-25 superwash merino nylon, 100 grams, 463 yards. This one is Madame D, and this one is the author. And these are from her, I'm going to put the name of the collection across the screen because I can't remember what it's called right now. But these are the 2 that these are the 2 that I absolutely loved. This one because it's green and I'm Kalisha and green. What else? This one just, I don't know, it makes me feel nice on the inside. Is that weird to say about a color? So these are the ones that that I chose from her shop, and I don't know if I want to do something with them together or separately. We will figure this out. But they came with friends, like I said, and it was pretty much all friends of Madame D. So she said on her card, she was like, I couldn't send Madame D without her lover. So she sent this one, who is Monsieur Gustave. I think I said that right. So this is Monsieur Gustave. And oh my gosh, like this purple, I don't even remember seeing this, but like, look at how awesome. And I could definitely see these 2 together. Like if I did like knitted brioche, I think that would be really cool, because this one, of course, being like all of the purples and stuff, and then this one has like splashes of the purple. Like we go together, but we're also really awesome by ourselves, but we would love to stay together. So that is Monsieur Gustave. And then she also sent this version of Madame D, which is mohair. This is her wild base, and it is 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, 50 grams, 400 yards. Oh, almost dropped it on the floor. That's all it would need, was just dog hair with the mohair. 2% dog hair. So this is the Madame D's together. So cool. And I've never like handled any mohair silk mix. So this was really cool to like experience. Like this is a whole new level of yarny experience for me right now. So I don't know what these delightful yarn babies want to grow up to be, but I'm so excited about it. Part of me wants to, and I don't know what order I want to put them in, or like, it's so many thoughts, so many ideas. It's just, that's my brain right now. But like, I would love to like play around with the colors, maybe try designing something new, because I do have some more shawl ideas. You guys know that well, you may not know, I have a plan to design shawls around my my top 5 favorite constellations. And those are Gemini, Cassiopeia, Orion, Canis Major, and who was the 5th one? It might just be the 4. Like, I want to design shawls based on those. And this one could actually be cool in like a Canis Major shawl, because Canis Major is a dog, and like the great dog. And I feel like if I let my dogs out, if I tied like clean yarn to Tootie and just let her run free, it would probably come back with like grass stains and like little bits of brown where she went rolling down the hill, and like just outside life, which this one really reminds me of, like outside life. So I think that's what this is going to go into. I think this one is going to be set aside for Canis Major. Yay, ideas. And then the rest of these guys, who knows? And now I kind of feel like they have to go together in something, because they came to me together. So maybe they should stay together. We will figure it out. So I'll put the babies over there. And then we have, is this the mohair nose itch? Is that what's going on right now? Like, okay. We have one more ball of yarn. And this one is from String Theory Colorworks. And this is the bag. And that's her logo right there. So I went to the Florida Fiber Inn, which is like a small fiber, like yarn festival kind of thing. I don't really know how you would describe it, but like, they have vendors that, you know, of course, selling their different things. Different people can bring their yarn and kind of do like a yard sale almost, like selling their stash. And I totally forgot about it. The first time I heard about it was, I think, like a year or 2 ago. And I was like, oh man, this would be really cool to go to. But it's on a Saturday and a Sunday. So Saturday, of course, I'm in church, as I'm an Adventist. And Sundays I was working. So I was just like, oh, well, okay. So then this year I completely forgot about it until Yarn Tripping on Instagram sent me a message, and she was like, hey, I went to the Florida Fiber Inn today and it's still going on for tomorrow. So I just wanted to let you know, like, if you wanted to go. I had a great time. And I was like, I totally forgot. So I went to their website and I looked to see what time they were going to be opening on Sunday morning, and it was like, you know, they're opening at 9:30. I didn't have to be at work until 11:15, so I was like, we can do this. I love to live dangerously, guys. Evidently, this is what I do. So I got up Sunday morning, got dressed, hopped in the car and drove. It was about like a 30-minute drive to get to the place. And when I walked in, I got that like tight chest, like anxiety kind of thing that I feel all the time, like when I go out anywhere in like an unknown public area. It doesn't matter if I'm like with people I know or if I'm by myself. I just get that anxiety. And the way that it like manifests physically is like tunnel vision. So I was trying to keep myself like, you know, like loose and relaxed and everything. I was like vlogging a little bit. And when I walked into the room, I saw like this like huge conference room kind of area that they were in. And like I felt like my vision went pew. So I was just like, okay, Kalisha, you're okay. Calm down. Everything is fine. Nobody's gonna attack you. This is a calm place. We're good. Everything is fine. So I'm like deep breathing and like walking in, and the first, well, it was technically I think the second booth was String Theory Colorworks. And last year I bought yarn from them at the Magical Fantasy Fiber Retreat. I think that's it. Anyway, but I bought yarn from them last year, and it was the Christmas colorway. So when I saw her booth, I was like, ooh, I recognize this. This is a like a known thing that I like can interact with and like ease myself into this environment, right? So I walk over, I was like looking at their yarns, and one of the girls are working in the booth comes over to me, and she was like super bubbly, like, hey, how are you doing? We sell yarn. It's stripy, it's nerdy, it's great. And I was like, so like I talked to her for a little bit, and just like that interaction was enough to like get me like breathing and like relaxed again, because like all of my breathing was like up in my chest. So if y'all remember, I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I really wanted some rainbow yarn, and I did get a ball of this rainbow yarn on a D-stash, but it wasn't like, it's in rainbow order, but they're not like stripes of rainbow colors, like dedicated stripes. So I was like, that's what I really wanted, was like a dedicated striped yarn, like rainbow striped yarn. And that is what I got. So this is String Theory Colorwork Inertia. So that's her 80/20 superwash merino nylon. This colorway is called Refraction, and it is 100 grams, 400 yards. Let me read it to you as she has it. 400 yards of pure awesome, 365 meters of squishiness, 100 grams of fabulosity. Absolutely, I can completely agree with that. So that's how it looks. And it says the stripe pattern is, it's all 7 rows. So it goes scarlet, blazing orange, sunny yellow, green, sapphire, purple, and then divided by 3 rows of white. So this is going to give me the rainbow stripes that I have been looking for. And yeah, that is her logo or her ball band. And of course I'll put her information down below as well. But I also got, and of course I don't have it in here with me, but I got a pin from her. It was like a button like this big, and it says elements of happiness, and it spells yarn using elements from the periodic table. And that just made my little science lemon heart explode on the inside. So yeah, I got my rainbow socks, y'all. And yeah, we'll put that one at the top of my yarn pile. Yay! Things that make me happy. So and it came to me in the project bag. So I've just been keeping all of my yarns in here, waiting to share them with you guys. And now I'm not allowed to cast these rainbow socks on yet. I gotta finish at least one of the pairs of socks in my works in progress before I cast on these rainbow socks, because I kind of want them now. Or maybe I'll cast on that other rainbow yarn and just like let this one marinate because it's so awesome. I think that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, that is everything that I have for stash positions. Nana also sent me some tea, which I'm excited to try. I was going to brew it today, but then I was like, whenever I make tea and then I podcast, it always sits and kind of gets cold. And I don't want to like ruin the tea that she sent me. So yeah. Yeah. Hi guys, it's Kalisha from the future, and I realized after finishing filming that I forgot to mention some happy mail, and that's not a good thing. So let me show you guys what I have. Make sure my address isn't going to be like on Front Street. So I have this box. This is from Deneen from the Knits In by Deneen podcast, and I will link her down below, of course. And we kind of did like a little goodies swap, and I have lots of like yarny things to show you. So first you can see this guy. This is a ball of Caron 1 pound, and it's like a cream color. It's called Cream. So there's that, and it looks like it's a complete ball. So I wonder if I can get like a sweater, like a pullover out of this, like the Harvest Moon pullover that I showed you guys. I think I'm gonna try making it in this and see how much a 1 pound ball can get me, because I think it will look really nice in a solid cream. So I have that. I also have this purple one, and this looks like it's definitely a 1 pound ball. I don't know if it's Caron or Red Heart. It might be Caron. So we're just gonna say this is another Caron, like remnants of the 1 pound. Not for some reason, there is a reason, but I used to always feel like purple wasn't a color that I was drawn to, and that's literally because growing up, every girl that I knew, her favorite color was either pink, purple, or blue. So whenever I saw purple, I was just kind of like, meh. But now I find myself wanting to have more purple in my life, but I think that's because my birthstone is amethyst. So whenever I see purple things, I'm like, I can make myself a birthday thing. So that's what I think whenever I have purple yarn. If you hear the pitter patter of little toes, that's Kiva and Toot. They just finished eating their dinner, and now they're very happy and full, and probably going to go nap. So next I have this ball of Red Heart Super Saver in the Carrot colorway. Kind of feels like it's a full ball. Maybe she used maybe just a little bit, but it's pretty full. I am about to crack into this actually right now to work on the suicide prevention and awareness yarn bombing ribbons. So I hadn't realized that I don't have really any orange in my stash, so this was perfect. So thanks, Deneen. She also sent me some cotton. This is Peaches and Cream in the, do you have a name color? Yes, Ahoy Ombre. So it's like some orange, teals, and white. So this is a very summery colorway. I'm going to make some washcloths out of this because I don't know if I showed it on here. I think I did, but a while ago I made an orange washcloth out of some cotton that I got at Joann's, and I really like how it worked. So some more handmade washcloths are in the future. The last yarny bits that she put in here are 4 balls of sock yarn. They are both the Red Heart, Heart and Soul. This one you guys will recognize. This is the Sorbetto colorway, and I recently used this yarn in, I don't think those socks had a fancy name, the folded cuff socks that I did that started out with the 9-inch circulars, and I discovered that was not my jam. So now I have 2 more balls of this. I think I have another ball in my stash, so I need to figure out what I can do with, like, essentially, what is it, 150 grams of this kind of sock yarn. So I think it'll be cool to do something that's not socks out of this yarn, and just to see how it works up. Maybe I can crochet socks with this. That's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna make socks with this, but these are gonna be my crochet socks, because now I know that I have enough yarn to make a pair of crochet socks, because they do take more yarn than knit socks. And there is a crochet along, a crocheted sock along coming up in, I think it starts in October. So I'm set. Booyah. And she also sent me 2 of the, I don't know why I'm holding things like this. Like, why does that even make sense? 2 of the ivory colorway for dyeing. And you guys can't see it, but this shelf right here, it's like one of those little bathroom shelves from IKEA. I have a shelf, another one of these, like right over there, that has like my bare yarn on it. So I'm just gonna put this over with its friends. That's everything yarny that she sent. She also sent me some coffee in the pumpkin spice latte. I have already broken into this. I took a packet with me to work, and that was much appreciated. And then she also sent me the, is it Via Instant Refreshers? Revitalizing Energy. In the cool, I almost said Cool Lime colorway. No, Cool Lime fragrance? No, Kalisha. Flavor. It's a flavor. So that's what she sent that way. And then she also sent me some teas. We have Earl Grey, Orange Spice, and Chai Spice Black Tea. And the last thing that she sent was this bag of buttons. So I was chatting back and forth with her and just saying, like, I have been wanting to put buttons on like projects and stuff, and like I have buttons in my stash that I'm waiting for, like the perfect project to put them on. And I'm like, I don't know what would need a button, but in here there's some really, really cute ones. Like there's an apple, a pineapple on this side. Oh, can you see them? Oh, they're running away. Little frogs, and then like colorful buttons, all shapes and sizes. I really like this one. Is that one wood? Oh no, I think it might be plastic. Actually, I don't know. I think it is plastic, but it's like super pretty. Like that definitely needs to be on something so it can be like highlighted. But yeah. And then of course she sent me a sweet little note on a postcard, and the postcard has this flower on it. Like, that is really pretty. Part of me wants to cut it out, but I don't want to cut up her postcard. So I'm probably just going to tape the whole thing in my like crafty bullet journal. So that is everything that Deneen sent me. So thank you so much, darling. I am going to be, like I said, breaking into that orange yarn, but that cream yarn is going to be another Harvest Moon sweater. And yes, so back to your regular schedule programming. But yeah, so that's everything crafty. The last little chit chat that I have is my life and whatnot section. And this weekend just gone, I spent a whole lot of time like with some of my friends. One of my friends was in town for his birthday, So we like went out. We had like really, really good pizza at this place called Lazy Moon Pizza in Orlando. Like, it was delicious. And I need to go get this pizza again. Like, excellent, excellent. After we had pizza, I think that was Friday. We went out for pizza. It was me, my friend Henry, and my friend Beach. And after pizza, we went to Lake Eola and we walked around, just like talking and watching like the wildlife out there. And we met this awesome violinist. She was playing in the park. Her name's Jasmin. I'm gonna link her Instagram down below as well. But she's also doing fundraising for suicide awareness and prevention. So check her out. At the end of this video, I am gonna put in a clip of her playing. It was really, really good. Kind of made me wish that I kept with the violin when I was younger, but what are you gonna do? What else did we do? So we just hung around, walking around the park, and then we went back to Beach's house and sat just reminiscing about college and looking at like old pictures and videos of us from college, and just like spending that time together was so like needed, you know? And then Sabbath afternoon, I met them at the beach. I actually left directly from church and drove to the beach. So I actually went like almost swimming. Like, I wasn't like swimming in the ocean, but like up to my thighs in the ocean in the dress that I wore to church. And it was such a, I don't even know the word. Like, I've been thinking about this since like doing it. Like, what did that make me feel? Now, aside from the fact that I was in the ocean in my church clothes, just being in the water is such a releasing experience for me. And it doesn't have to be the ocean. Like, I just feel very connected to water, to like bodies of water or anything like that. Like, when I'm at the shore and like my feet are in the water or I'm touching the water or something like that, it's just a whole new energy for me. So I was having such an emotional moment, y'all. I ended up crying, like, just it felt like all of this weight was just being pulled like from like the middle of my chest, like right here, just like that's what it felt like with all of the waves and stuff. And then just the freeness of the ridiculousness of being in the ocean in your church clothes. You know, like when you're little, your parents are always like, go change out of your church clothes, you can't get them dirty. You know, like you have to take care of your church clothes. Like, so the idea for me to be in there just on the complete other side of the what to do in your church clothes spectrum was just an awesome experience. And I am so glad that I did it. I'm so glad that I went into the water with this dress on. Beach told me that I looked magical because I was like standing, you know, you're standing in the water and the waves are coming in and my dress is like floating on the water, and it was really a good experience. And Saturday night we went to a video game bar, which I didn't know this was a thing, but essentially at this place it was called Player One, and you paid $5 to get in, and it was just an arcade of like old school games. Like, they had Centipede and Donkey Kong, both of which handed my butt to me. Like, they had Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and Guitar Hero and like this almost Oregon Trail kind of duck hunt game and like Punch Out and all of these old games, right? And they're all on free play. So once you get in there, you just play video games to your heart's content. And it was really cool. And so we were there for a while, and then we all like went our separate ways. And then Sunday I went to the Florida Fiber Inn that I told you guys about already. But another awesome thing that happened while I was at the Florida Fiber Inn, after I bought my yarn, I was walking around like seeing what was in the different booths, seeing, you know, what was there, what I could possibly take home with me. And I was looking in this one booth, and someone comes up behind me with a phone and they go, "This is you." And I turned around and I look at the phone, and it's my Instagram, and it's me on the phone. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that's me. So I got to meet, I don't want to mispronounce her name. I want to say it's Alicia. I could be wrong, but Pluto Figueroa from Instagram. And we talked for quite a while. She showed me her spinning wheel, which was the cutest little spinning wheel I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever... No, I have never seen a spinning wheel that small. Like, she was talking and she was showing it to me. She's like opened it up and like started putting it together. And I was just like, and then like she could just spin. Like, she's just spinning yarn on this teeny tiny spinning wheel that she just pulled out of this little basket like a magician. So it was like an awesome pleasure to meet you. So I am, first, I'm proud of myself that I did not like burst out into a crazy nervous sweat, because that's what normally happens when I meet new people. And I was like calm. So yeah, that was awesome. But it was just like a real nice, it was really nice to meet somebody who, even though I never met her in real life, I've spoken to her a couple times on Instagram, to know that even though this is literally our first time speaking to each other, we have these things in common. You know, like we were talking about her spinning on her wheel and me spinning on drop spindles and different things like that. And there was a lady next to her that started talking to us as well. And it was just like so at ease. And I am not used to that experience. So it just made me feel like I need to get into these areas more often. So maybe like the more I have these like calm and not freaking out interactions with people like yarny folks, like maybe it can like extend to other areas of my life, and I can like talk to strangers and not freak out in general life. Like that's where we want to get. Being able to talk to people and not freak out regularly. We're on the way, guys. We're on the way. That is everything, guys. Like, yeah. I had a really good week. I'm so thankful that I had a good week, because those last 2 weeks before this one, So this upswing is really, I'm really thankful for it. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope you are happy and at peace. If you're not, just remember, like I've been saying like over and over again, I feel like a broken record, but if it can swing down, it can swing back up. Just hold on and wait for that upswing. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my universe. leave comments down below of anything positive that has happened in your life, to you, to anybody that you know. Leave encouraging messages so that anyone reading that can be uplifted as well. I mean, not even just for me, because I know that I go on to other people's, like when I'm watching other podcasts, I'll read the other comments that are on there. So leave positive and uplifting messages for other people watching this who may also read those comments and need that kindness from you. So I love you. Again, thanks for being here, and have a wonderful week. Bye.
Bye.